Hello folks, it's Gordon here, hope all is well with you. And this video I've called On Honeymoon because it's the 19th of October 2024 as I'm recording this video. And I'm not on honeymoon now, but I was on honeymoon on the 19th of October 35 years ago. Christ, 1989. I would have been on honeymoon down in St Ives in Cornwall in the southwest of Britain. And the reason I'm talking about that today is twofold. Something happened when I was back in St Ives 7 years ago, and then I want to talk about something that we bought back 35 years ago. So there's going to be a bit of time hopping going on. So 35 years ago, 1989, we were on honeymoon and we went to St Ives. We'd been there before on holiday, so we wanted to go somewhere that we'd been before because then we knew that we'd like it. And we did like it. We had a great time. And 7 years ago, in 2017, I was on holiday in St Ives and I hadn't been back there since the honeymoon, just the way life had gone. So it was 28 years since I'd been there. And 35 years ago, we had wanted to stay. There's a big hotel in St Ives on one end of the bay, opposite end of the bay to where the lighthouses are, sitting on the rocks, basically. It's a big white hotel called the Pednolva Hotel. And we'd seen it when we'd been there previously. And our holidays, we'd predominantly stayed in B&B's, bed and breakfasts accommodation, cheaper. And we thought, for our honeymoon, why don't we splash out and stay in that big Pednolva hotel? And that's exactly what we did. Really nice hotel actually. And 7 years ago, in 2017, blimey, I said I was going to be going backwards and forwards. I was wandering the streets of St Ives and I was at one end of the bay, and it occurred to me that I hadn't seen the big hotel. That sort of memory came back to me. Yeah, we'd stayed in that big hotel on the rocks. I'll have to look for it again. And I looked at the building next to me that I was standing by, and it occurred to me that I was standing right next to it, standing outside it. And I'm telling you, it was like being in a time machine. You have to be of a certain age for this to work, sort of, because it involves something that happens maybe 20, 30 years in your past. But it was like a time machine. It was like something out of Doctor Who. I felt myself transported back 28 years in time. I was stood still at the time, and it was a good thing it was, because this had happened to me previously, and the last time it happened, it actually stopped me in my tracks. And I could just imagine myself there outside the hotel on honeymoon 28 years previously. I realised that I stood outside the front door of the hotel. So I had stood there 28 years ago. And it's a weird feeling. It's almost an out-of-body experience because my brain's the same. It's the same me. And the memory is there. All the neurological pathways and connections in the brain fire up at the same time. So it feels like you're back in time 28 years ago. Very strange experience. Has that ever happened to you, by the way? Have you ever been wandering along and all of a sudden you'll see something or hear something and bang, you're transported back in time several decades? Let me know if that's ever happened to you. And going back 28 years from 2017 and 35 years from today, on honeymoon, we bought a painting, an original painting by an artist called Donald MacLeod. Might be Scottish, I don't know. Sounds it, doesn't it? But he's got a website, and it says that he still paints down there in St Ives. And one of his collection of paintings is called Ancient Cornish Harbours or Old Cornish Harbours, something like that. narrow, windy, cobbled lanes, maybe painted at night with a bit of mist, ships in the harbour, old sailing ships in the harbour, and yellow light coming out of the buildings. Very atmospheric, painted in oil on canvas, so there's texture to the painting. And looking back now, it's made me realise that in my painting, I use 3 words to describe my painting or why I do it: colour, expression and imagination. And all 3 of those were there in that painting, in that set of paintings by Donald MacLeod. We've been wandering around the galleries there, and it caught my eye instantly at the time. I do remember that. And there's nothing better than when you see a painting and you're looking at a series of paintings maybe, and something catches your eye. You think, oh yeah. And you wonder, what is it that's caught your eye about that painting? Is it the colour? Is it the expression in the way it's painted? The actual brush strokes? Or is it your imagination being fired up by what's actually in the painting? So we bought that painting, an original painting, and with me doing a bit of a push and more painting at the moment, it made me think that's the only original painting I've ever bought in my life, to my knowledge. I've been trying to think whether I've bought any other original paintings, and it took me some time to remember that I had bought that one. I think originally my first answer was that, which was no, I've never bought an original painting. And then I remembered I have bought an original painting, but to my knowledge and memory, only the one. Which makes me ask another question. It's the second question to you in this video. The first question was, have you ever had one of those moments in time where you've seen or heard something, or maybe smelt something, I don't know, that's taken you back in time to a moment several decades previously? And what was that like for you? And the second question is, have you ever bought an original piece of art in your life? Because my paintings, I'm going to have a push for selling prints, because prints are, you can print a limitless amount and you can sell them cheaper, so you can price them cheaper because they're not the original. At the moment, my originals are only priced at £75 for any one of my originals. Now, a lot of the art coaches say you can't be selling an original for that, you should be selling a print for that. Now, I sell prints ranging from £39 to £69, but my originals are only £75. That's an original, for an example, of the sycamore tree gap. £75, free postage included. These are prints of one of my Christmas paintings. That's a print of one of my rainbow doodle, £39, free shipping included. Now, where was it? Oh, I can't get it in the right bloody place now. Something like that. Yeah, so I'd be interested. You might have loads of original paintings. Where you live might be full of original paintings. I'd love to hear about it if that's the case. Or if you've only ever bought 1 or 2 original paintings, or if you've never bought an original painting in your life, let me know. I'd love to hear. I'd be interested. I'm a nosy bugger. I like finding out about other people's lives. Yeah. So on Honeymoon, 35 years ago. Now that is a long time. Seems a long time, feels a long time, it is a long time. And speaking of long times, how long have I been going? Oh, 10 minutes, 11 minutes. I haven't done a video that long for quite a while. Signing off for now. Wishing you as ever health and happiness. I'll speak to you again soon.